This is tough scene Cleveland, dude.
And now, Tough Scene Cleveland, starring Nick Wolf.
I am the Prince of Parma. I'm drinking right now, Def Jeff. This is not moron talk hour.
Def Jeff.
I remember jamming with that guy when I was probably 15. I'm still waiting outside.
Don't trust Def Jeff at all.
And the best entertainment in Cleveland.
What's this about you? You cranking off a dude?
Jake the Snake at this point starts running Detroit Road.
It isn't punk rock, the best parts of butch gay culture.
Man, I want to be a good person here. Like, stop it.
He actually came up with this new t-shirt design for people that fuck up their life like Nick Wolf did.
Tough Scene Cleveland, here we are once again. This is episode 5 now, I think, of season 2. Nick Wolf, Jeremy Shearer here with me.
Yeah, I'm here. Episode 5.
You're all safe. You know where he is now, so it's okay. Def Jeff is around here somewhere. We've had a burnout on the orbiting sphere of death. He's outside, orbiting around the sphere of death, trying to fix something. It's an exterior problem.
Please keep us afloat. I don't want to crash into Parma. If I'm going to fall from the sky, it better be on the east side.
That's the last place you want to. I hope it's on the east side too. Big crater. I was actually, Jeremy, I just started working out in your wonderful land, the east side.
Oh no.
And I gotta say, although I hate it, it is beautiful. I drive down Cedar, Murray Hill. I start, doing Bafangul, Black the Ruta, screaming and gibberish.
I bet they think you're adorable.
Oh, they love me there. They can tell right away I'm from the west side, especially Parma. It's like they can smell. Like I walk in, the guy's like, "So where are you from?" I'm like, "West side." He's like, "Ha, I thought so." He's like, "Well, where about?" I'm like, "Well, if you look down on the fact that I'm from the west side, you're definitely not gonna like the fact that I'm from Parma." He's like, "No, I just don't like Lakewood. There's certain type of people in Lakewood." I'm like, "Gays and rockers?" Is that what you don't like?
No, they don't like the gays too much. There are too many incursions on the east side.
Well, is that what we like east side? Is there because of the Jew factor that the gays get pushed to the west side? Is that like a Jew thing?
No, I think it's a black thing.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, Jimmy, sure, you are our Jew insider for the TFC Cleveland. All right, it's a black thing. Well, we have them everywhere, though. Or the blacks push the gays out.
Yeah, that's, it's actually, I had the theory when I first started hanging out in Lakewood, because I was always told, don't go there, you'll get fucked in the ass, and not the case. I'm not pretty enough. But,
right. Well, I was always told if you drop your keys in Lakewood, you better kick them to 117th, know?
Kick them to 117th, then a crackhead will steal them.
Right.
But, no, as soon as I got over there, I was like, there are just a ton of bars here. There's not gays. It's just a myth to keep the land values up so blacks don't move in.
Well, exactly. I mean, a lot of this stuff is in the Cleveland side. I mean, the Tomahawk, not that I never really know where that is if it wasn't by now this class. Although, it's a great place. When you get off work to have a beer, be around other men, talk about manly things.
With no shirt on.
Right. It's awesome.
If you like wearing a vest and nothing else, that's your bar.
But yeah, I mean, I think people just see I think the rock people kind of give it a bad image because people like hillbillies think all rock people are gay anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's been a big week where you're following, obviously we got to talk about real quick, a big moment that changed America forever. Jeremy Shearer's live recording in Kent last week.
Sold out.
Sold out. That's, now is that Parma sold out? That's a real sold out, right?
It's real sold out. There was not a seat to be had, except for 3 seats in the front where nobody wanted to sit because they were worried there was going to be some sort of splash zone during my act.
Are you doing some Gallagher stuff now, or just like you were ripping on the crowd?
They heard it was going to be really, really dirty, so I think people assumed since last time I was at that particular venue, I performed in my underwear. They figured I was going to take it to the next level.
They think you're just going to crank one off on that, basically. It's like G.G. Allen and Gallagher mixed together. That's Jeremy Shearer.
That's what I had to retire. The DVD will be out in the middle of January. So
this is a total success, and you were going to bury the dirty humor. You thought it wasn't working for you. You do one last show to try to get rid of it, and much to your chagrin, people actually liked it.
People liked it, and I realized, shit, I have about 45 minutes more material that I have to get rid of before I can get rid of it all.
Another 8 years of dick and rape jokes, I guess, huh?
Damn it.
He's trying to be better, okay, people?
I'm trying to appeal to the feminists and the other minorities, and I I can't. It's too hard.
So just say fuck them. Why even try? But no, the best of success for you. I wish I would have made it. Mainly because I could have gotten total, just straight up ass.
Yep.
And I would have seen your show too. It would have been great. But unfortunately, I will be. I'm driving now, so I'm finally getting my crap together, and I'm working too. So it's a banner week for me.
Look out! Nick Wolf is coming to your town.
Yes, you can't keep me away now. It's been a nice couple years. I haven't been to any shows or anything like that, and you've all been able to get away with mediocrity. Well, unfortunately, I'm putting you back to task. Nick Wolf will be at a venue near you, and you better bring your friggin' game. Because if I don't like it, I'm gonna cut your mic. Because I have Nick Wolf propriety over all entertainment in the city, and I can just pull your mic if I want.
He can work any soundboard.
Yes. And so another, I guess, kind of big story they've been talking about, I guess, it affected some people, this election thing.
Oh yeah, that was a side note.
Can I say, whew.
Yeah, that was my reaction.
Oh, America, we nearly avoided. So then I'm not going to say that everything about Obama's great. There's definitely, I am not agreeing. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed. But at least Obama will listen to you saying, hey, I don't like this. And he'll explain to you why he does it. And he'll explain to you what he's trying to do. Whereas Mitt Romney was just like, nah, I got a better plan. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And the fact that so it's not even like beliefs to me. It was just the fact that Mitt Romney the whole time refused to say anything, was belligerent, like arrogant about the fact that he wouldn't tell us anything or give us any information about himself. The only reason he was even nominated was because Rick Santorum had to drop out. Or come out, whatever it was. I think he got caught being gay, and that's why he had to drop out.
More than likely.
Yeah, eventually, if Obama keeps going, we'll have a gay president. It's everyone's smoking pot and getting gay married today. It's the big thing, and that is, you can tell the liberals have definitely like, we have crushed the Republicans with this. They thought they were going to win, and they are so beaten. The liberals just like, everyone smoke pot. It's pot smoking time. Yeah, and it's been nothing but pot like the last couple of days.
I can't even escape it. I'm on probation, and I've had 5 blunts thrust in my face. All across this great city. Right.
Everyone is just burning up. And poor Jeremy Shear is, what if it's legalized before you're off probation? Will they grandfather your probation in and you still won't be able to smoke weed?
No, they won't grandfather it in. I'll go into court and the judge will be like, isn't this legal now? Case dismissed.
Right. So please, let Jeremy Shear smoke weed. I'm going to call it the Congressman. I have political power, Jeremy. I'm going to work something out for you.
That would be great. I'd probably be less of a belligerent asshole that way.
Not that I smoke weed in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I'm pure of body and mind.
Those are very nice straight edge tattoos, by the way.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm like the CM Punk of broadcast radio. And I just want to say, we have a big show coming up. That's my segue. Our guest tonight, obviously we're going to do the news. We got our stupid stories about people's balls getting bit off and stuff. It's a great show with Sassy Stephy, who is blowing the world. She's blowing the world up. She's a gigantic. Women's wrestling on the independent scene is getting huge, and really, when it comes to indie wrestling, it's really as much of a draw as some of these male promotions. And she's been doing it since 2007. I like to think that she's a big reason because of that. So we're gonna have Sassy Stephie on. Also, a good friend of ours, Tyler Bosch, will be on a little bit later too. He's got diabetes, so we're gonna talk about that. It's gonna be our health segment. Do not give him chocolate, Def Jeff. He will die. Okay, he got through another Halloween, so thank God for that. Also, the beautiful and vivacious Holly Berry will be here. She's been in before, but we've never been able to really talk to her because she always comes to CJ and he doesn't shut his damn mouth.
No. CJ is going to overpower everybody.
So he's locked at home. CJ will not be here, so our ratings might spike this episode.
His beard will be here.
Right, it's always here. And then I also two big announcements before we get to the news. Take a break and get to the news. November 21st, I will actually be emceeing at the 5 o'clock lounge the night before Thanksgiving. Burning Harlots, who've been on the show before, the Deadenders, who've been on the show, and Jimmy from Maria's band, Kid Damage. And I'm going to be ripping on all of them. They're dumb enough to give me a microphone in between their sets.
I heard a rumor that the Nick Wolf band might be playing.
It might be Nick Wolf and a band. But so that's a big one. I will let you know more about that as that comes. And also, I'd like to say this will be our first broadcast. We're not doing the Ustream. We'll be back to that eventually. We got to work out some kinks. This will be our first show on AirCheck US, which is an internet group that we've signed up with out of Florida. It's people from all over the country. So different kind of talk, comedy things. So we're very happy to be part of that. And thank you for letting us join your family. So we're branching out. We're getting everywhere. Like a sexually transmitted disease that we've always tried to be.
With no symptoms.
Right, exactly. It's the best kind of STD.
We're the chlamydia of radio.
Right, or what's the thing that only chicks get and they like eventually eats out their uterus, but guys...
Chlamydia.
Well, that or the Papillonian...
HPV.
HPV, we're like the HPV.
It causes warts in some people, but...
So, Tough Scene Cleveland, we'll be back in a minute with the news. Hello, I'm Nick Wolf, triathlon contestant, whittler, and host of Tough Scene Cleveland. Here at our corporate headquarters, our phones are ringing off the hook. It seems you wonderful people can't get enough of Tough Scene Cleveland, your only source for real underground rock and roll and comedy. Don't believe us? You probably shouldn't. We're all pathological liars, but you can believe these words from our enthusiastic fans.
I can just leave my kids home alone by the computer for hours, and they just love to listen. Thank you, Tough Scene Cleveland.
Yeah, so like Tough Scene Cleveland helped me get on methadone, you know, like on that needle return twin spin Mondays. Like it saved my life, man.
Every once in a while, they almost seem like they know what they're talking about. I don't totally hate Tough Scene Cleveland.
Oh my God, they're so hot. They're Hispanic, aren't they?
Since I started listening to Tough Scene Cleveland, I almost never go on violent rages anymore.
As you can see, people are going wild for Tough Scene Cleveland. And we will continue to bring you all the best the Cleveland music scene has to offer. Tough Scene Cleveland, your only source for real underground rock and roll. All right, Tough Scene Cleveland, we're back to news. Nick Wolf, Jeremy Shear, Def Jeff is around here somewhere. He's listen, we've actually got we've been attacked by these little flying bat aliens.
Well, no, Space Dog was out there yelping for space treats.
Oh, he went out to feed the space dog. Yeah, just so our guests know, that noise you hear is sometimes the space dog. We're in the orbiting sphere of death, of course, as always, and there's a space dog. His dog floats in a little bubble around. He orbits the orbiting sphere of death. He's like our moon. We have a dog moon, basically. But he gets hungry every once in a while, and Def Jeff got some begging strips, took him out there.
Dehydrated.
They handle great in zero gravity. That's actually what the astronauts, no one knows this, it's just begging strips and Tang. That's all they,
There's no more astronaut ice cream. All the stoners ate it.
Right, exactly.
It's just begging strips.
So we got some news here, Jeremy Shear, and of course all of our news is brought to you by the best source of what's really going on in the world, the Huffington Post. And a Virginia teenager was critically injured in a car accident last month, and he died before his parents can harvest his sperm.
Oh no.
Because he was the only son, so they wanted their family to carry on to the idiot fucking...
Look, if you can't give enough of a blowjob to get off a dead guy, you have no business giving blowjobs.
Well, can they harvest sperm if he's in a coma? They bring a girl in and
yeah,
just sucks it right out, right?
Yeah, that should be how it works. Just hop right on there.
I gotta say, I'm not a scumbag like this guy. Living with my parents for the years I did, I don't anymore. But during that time, I deposited so much semen in the sheets of my bed that my mom had to clean that. There's gonna be generations of wolves long after I die.
That's right. Do not let your children sleep over at the Wolf House.
Right.
They will leave pregnant.
Right, exactly. All their clothes would be like they have starch in them just from sitting on the couch. I just spray. It's like a Jeremy Shear show. I just spray semen all over the place.
Nick Wolf is the worst long-term guest.
Rufus Arthur McGill, 19 years old, died on Thursday as a result of injuries from a car crash. One other person died in it, and so the main story is that the parents were fighting to, while he was in a coma, harvest the sperm, but he died before the court order went through.
I really hope they wouldn't have named that kid after their father, Rufus.
Right.
And he's 19.
Some people, if you die at 19 and your name's Rufus, should your seed carry on through generations, or is this natural selection?
I believe this is natural selection.
All right. So I guess once again, bureaucrats are keeping sperm out of good people's hands, and it's the Democrats. Now that Romney's defeated, I'm turning against the Democrats now.
Okay. Now you're not worried about policies coming from the inside of paper underwear. It's okay. Right. Start bashing the Democrats again.
Exactly. Although I gotta say, I hope in 4 years, although I'm not big on Hillary Clinton, can you imagine if Bill Clinton runs for vice? Because he can run for vice president.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be insane.
That would be great. He's the best speaker we have. So.
Right, and I don't really actually want him making decisions anymore, so as a vice president he'd be great, because
he could get in all the scandals.
Right, exactly. It wouldn't really affect our country. Our next story, and this goes to Tyler, our guest. He works at a hookah bar now, and This may be a business opportunity for you, Tyler. John Campio posed as a modeling agent, satisfied foot fetish outside of a hookah bar. And here's the great Huffington Post line. He's got his foot in the door. Of a jail cell! The Huffington Post, Jimmy Shear, if you didn't know, writes these for Huffington Post, these great lines.
I will accept capital punishment for that one.
A Florida man allegedly posed as a modeling agent outside a hookah bar to satisfy his foot fetish. According to Orlando cops, it said John Campio, 35, forced himself on a woman inside his car earlier this year after telling her she could be a foot model.
Forced himself on her feet?
Yeah, no, what do you do? Just start humping her feet?
Dick between her toes?
Barca Lounge is the sexiest piece of furniture that guy can think of. She told police that on April 6th, Campio approached her outside of the lit hookah bar outside of the main campus at University of Central Florida, which I've never heard of. If it was out the U, if it was outside of the U, I'd get it because there's always shit going on. It's probably a football player. She said, yeah. So basically, he their stories are so Huffington Post is full of shit.
I've been trying to tell you that for weeks.
This has nothing. So it has nothing. He tried to rape a girl in a car. It has nothing to do with him. Like, I thought he had a booth and he was like giving Tyler. And you can come on the mic if you want. Here, right there. There you go. That's that thing in front of your face.
All right, sounds good.
We both went to broadcasting school, didn't we?
We did. I didn't pay much attention. Right. I don't know how I graduated.
And here's a plan for you, buddy. You should set up a booth and start foot massage outside the hookah bar. You think they'll let you do that?
You know what I could do, actually? We have these very comfortable couches. They're they're in the hookah bar. What if you gave foot massages while they smoke their hookah? I mean, that's the ultimate relaxation right there.
You gotta go. You have to go to your boss immediately.
I am gonna go to my boss and talk about it. That is a great idea.
Boom. You're welcome.
Please tell me you work at Jenna's.
I do not. I apologize. That place sounds terrible. Sounds like an STD.
You want to say, they didn't want no names, right? We were taught in broadcasting school not to give names.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were taught, but, it's all good.
So, okay, that was a stupid story that we started time by the Huffington Post. They're going to redeem themselves. This is not doozy, Jimmy Shear.
All right.
Meth helps fight the flu, study suggests.
No shit.
That's the story. They said meth never did a body good. Who said that? I don't know. Listen, me and you are big proponents of meth.
Yeah, it's done wonders for my teeth.
They're beautiful. I love looking into your meth teeth. This is great. This close setup. Thanks, Steph Jeff. A study conducted by researchers in Taiwan found that methamphetamine may possess flu-fighting properties.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Why is it always the Asians that find the cool shit that we just did us white people ignore completely? The study published exposed human lung cells to varying quantities of meth, then infected them with H1N1 virus, which happens every time you go to if you do meth, you're gonna get H1N1 anyway. So those people aren't clean. They got their gaping holes in their arms and shit. After only 24 hours of infection, the group of control cells, which had not been treated with meth, contained the same concentrations of the virus as did the meth-treated cells. But after 30 hours, the meth-treated cells possessed significantly lower concentrations of the virus because those cells are being killed by the meth.
Yeah. They're getting smaller.
And then after 48 hours, I was even important. So instead of chicken soup anymore, when you're a kid, your mom would give you chicken soup, and that makes you feel better. Yes, fucking do some hot rails and you're ready to go. God, I love the world we live in now that everything's treatable by at least illicit drug. Like anything that marijuana doesn't treat, meth will.
I just want to know where they got the Puerto Ricans to get the H1N1 virus in Taiwan.
Jimmy Shear keeping it colorful here on Tough St. Cleveland.
Emphasis on color.
Right. So, and here's some more crazy Asian stuff. We ripped on the English last time, so now it's time to get those zany Asians. China's fourth largest airline, what they're doing basically is they're sniffing the armpits of the pilots before they get on the plane. It is very, what's that called when you take care of yourself and you don't smell it? Hygiene is very important in Asia.
Oh.
In Parma, it's not.
Wait. Asia, where they spit everywhere? Right. Hygiene's important?
Where sex involves pooping or peeing on each other 9 times out of 10.
Pubic hair is dirty. That's the only thing they have right.
Hainan Airlines stipulated that they would not hire pilots with bad body odor, and the recruiters put their noses to the job seekers' pits to make sure. I had my crotch fondle that interview once. Well, it wasn't an interview. It was more soliciting a hooker. I was interviewing a hooker for the job.
Well, that shows initiative.
Right.
She's ready to get right down to business.
Exactly. And you can't just get a prostitute. You have to do your homework at least. Ask her where she went to school, when her first abortion was. Yeah. Things like that you should know to really connect with your hooker.
Yeah. Does she do black guys?
Exactly, a big important thing, because I don't want a hooker that's just going to look at me like I'm bringing nothing, and after she's been worn out like that, I need a white-only hooker so she can still pretend that she's enjoying it.
And it helps if she has less than 2 abortions. Although I have found that 4 or 5 abortions, they can still please my small genitalia. Surprisingly enough. You just have to catch it early enough.
Right, exactly.
No third-term abortions, and then still have a tight vagina.
Listen, we can't control when abortion happens. That's God's will. When a woman aborts, okay? The baby will just shoot out of her vagina if God doesn't want it. God, thank God we don't have to actually believe that stuff.
Yeah, all of those guys got voted out this year.
All the idiots. I was doomed by my armpits, which are always a bit whiffy. The Orange News, one of the pilots said that they didn't get the job. Okay, if you can't be bothered to goddamn put some friggin' speed stick on your armpits, then, are you taking the precautions that need to be a safe pilot?
I don't know if they even use speed stick over there. I think they just, dab a little tea tree oil under there.
They just manufacture it.
Yeah, they manufacture all the deodorant, not allowed to use it.
Right.
There is no menin in Asia. The company doesn't exist. So, Christmas is after, Thanksgiving, obviously, even already, it's getting close to Christmas here.
What is this Christmas that you speak?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, I forgot who I was dealing with here. Mr. Shear, there's this thing that us Gentile devils, we have this celebration of this guy that God got some girl pregnant, and she had him. Then he died, and then he came back to life, and his hands bled.
You mean that guy we nailed to a cross?
Yeah, and then you might know. Yeah, of course you know him by your people killing him and betraying him.
You're welcome.
He was one of you. So, anyways, we celebrate this by spending a lot of money on Xbox games and gift certificates to Bed Bath & Beyond, and that is how we honor your fallen brother. That you betrayed and murdered, Jesus Christ.
If I'm going to betray and murder somebody, I want that celebrated with gift certificats.
Exactly. And tinsel.
Lots of tinsel. Red tinsel.
Right. We have this thing. You guys have the menorah, or the Hanukkah menorah, right?
The menorah, yes.
So is that that's something you practice then?
Yeah, it's. I actually took the menorah into the radio show last year, and I got yelled at for starting a fire in the station.
Your menorah is welcome here in the ordering sphere of death. We have no problem with fire codes. It's just Jews that we were a little sketchy on, but you're wearing it down.
Well, I've had my armpit sniffed before I came in.
Exactly. Well, that's what Death Chef is doing now. He's up at the gate of the ordering sphere of death, smelling armpits before and. In him being the pilot, I want to say his armpits are always fresh.
Fresh?
Death Chef, you got anything to say about your armpits?
No.
I just like to say I appreciate the fact that you shaved them.
Yes, he's a swimmer, actually.
It's very metro of you.
Death Chef is very metrosexual.
Death Chef's a rocker.
So we have these things, and so we have, you guys have it's a meaning. It's about, I believe it was the Huckabee Revolution when they basically rebelled against the Roman Empire, and the candles kept them lit, right? It is kind of what the
yes, it was the Huckabee Revolution. The great grandfather of Mike Huckabee. Actually,
it's something like that. I may have it wrong, but it's. Do you know anything about the celebration? I'm not Jewish, okay? Damn it, smarty pants, come on.
I know you're from Parma. I mean, it's to be expected.
You're lucky I even know what a Jewish person is. I listen to TV and radio from New York for this reason.
I'm just fortunate that you have seen a Jewish person other than covered in blood or or hung from a tree.
Or in ashtray of my car. Oh. Sassy Steph, I'm sorry. I know this is let us not bring her
sassy.
Right, let's not just bring her down to our level. We are scumbags, so don't hold that against our guests. They're good people. We have this thing called an advent calendar, which Our way of celebrating is you get chocolates every day.
Oh.
So before you get your stocking stuffed with candy and you get presents, and in between the time that you get free candy and Halloween, you celebrate them by eating candy.
Is that how he got diabetes?
Yes. This whole season, we're going to do a poll on Tyler. Tyler, how are you making it through here?
The advent calendars suck. Every day I open it up and there's a piece of candy and I'm like, really? Why do you people get me these things? I get it every day. I'm reminded I have diabetes and I can't enjoy this.
That is not Christmas spirit by any means. But they have a new advent calendar, and Tyler, no, this would kill you too.
Oh, great.
It's got whiskey in it. It's whiskey every day.
I want one.
That's amazing. Like the Jews need to work like a whiskey Hanukkah menorah. Wouldn't that be great? You have like 8 bottles of. Well, can you drink whiskey, or does it have to be kosher, or what?
No, we could drink whiskey. I mean, there's many different types of Jews. I'm the kind that eats bacon.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed you don't have the big sideburns or the...
No. Nick has better sideburns than I do. I'm not a credit to my race.
So Jimmy, sure, you can celebrate this too. Being non-Gentile, unfortunately, the diabetics, I guess the world doesn't care about you.
What if they did like an advent calendar? Every time you open it up, it's got more insulin.
Right,
I think that would be great. That would be perfect.
That would be awesome. Or what are those, like those little orange pills that you'd eat in class?
Yeah, those little, diabetic candies get my blood sugar up. You can only open it, kids, when your blood sugar's low.
Right, exactly. But, as we get to Christmas, this is a great idea, because as we get to Christmas, what is better than having to deal with your family than by drinking whiskey every day until so you're nice and loaded by the time Christmas actually comes.
This is just a festive way to drink whiskey.
Right. So Spirits Company Master of Malts is offering a grown-up version whiskey advent calendar. Each one has about a shot's worth of different whiskey, but they're not telling you exactly what you get. So I don't know if it's just straight up whiskey, or if there's like Irish and English whiskey, Protestant whiskeys. I hope not, because that's not... If you're a whiskey drinker, you won't drink. If you're one kind, you won't... Like, I like Jameson and stuff like that. I don't like, Bushmills.
You don't like Bushmills, but
No.
that makes the best Irish carbon.
So I don't know if I usually do with Jameson.
It just, Bushmills has more of a bite to it, so it counteracts, all the shit in the Guinness that just ruins the flavor of it. Bushmills is great, man.
This is the most our audience has learned on the show, so the most important thing you've learned yet. Thank you, Jimmy Shear.
Anytime.
So, all right, we got that. That is it on the news. The Huffington Post failed me. Well, and obviously, in case you haven't heard, Obama won the election. That's also kind of big news. And Colorado and Washington now, recreational pot use. So
Not Oregon.
No, not Oregon. That's just kind of weird.
Yeah. What's wrong with you hipsters?
And California, too. You figured they'd be the first, but...
Well, California has Orange County to contend with, so... Oregon, you've got no excuse.
Yeah.
No excuse whatsoever. Well, maybe a few of your voters were too busy on heroin, but...
Pot's not strong enough for them in Oregon.
Yeah.
So that is the news. We're going to be back in a minute with Sassy Stephy. Woo! Holy horse shit! This is Tough Scene Cleveland, you son of a bitch! Subscribe to Tough Scene Cleveland on YouTube. Like Tough Scene Cleveland on Facebook. Alright, Tough Scene Cleveland, we are back. Nick Wolf, Jeremy Shear.
Yep.
And Def Chef is around here somewhere. But
Yo.
He's outside.
Are you bringing the dog in, or what? Oh, okay.
We gotta keep him away from the sharks. He's feeding the sharks now.
The Shark Tank.
Right. It is a great honor right now to introduce my next guest. She is, I feel, one of the greatest attractions in pro wrestling today. Female wrestling is blowing up and is huge, and Sassy Steph has been on the forefront there so much time for a while now. Sassy Steph, how you doing?
I'm doing well. That was quite the introduction. I don't know if I can really live up to that.
It's alright. It's just like me and having sex, It just, you can be inadequate. It's okay. That's how I am every time I'm with a girl. So, ladies, so if you're listening, please disregard. That's radio shtick.
No. Give him all the pity fucks that he wants.
Oh, yeah, true. So, Sassy, what's going on?
Oh, it's been a couple of busy weeks, and I'm actually, in the next couple of weeks, winding down for the year. It's kind of crazy to think, the beginning of November, and I'm already winding down for the year.
Well, hey, you do so much. I remember, we went to school together, Ohio Center for Broadcasting. We were in the same class. Also, Tyler Bosch, who's here. We were all in the same class together, and I can't believe how she would go to school during the week, work her job at UPS, and then be like, in Chicago and Canada and everywhere else wrestling, and I don't know how you're crazy. So I guess you do need to wind down every once in a while, but you had a big last couple weeks. You've been in Montreal kicking bitches' asses from all over the world, right?
Yeah, in the last 3 weeks, I was in North Carolina. I wrestled a girl from Australia. Then the week after, I was in Chicago for Shimmer, which is one of the biggest women's promotions in the whole world.
That's the main, right?
Yeah, it's the biggest all-women's promotion in the world. They bring in girls from Japan, Canada. In fact, I have a saying when I walk in the locker room, I'm like, being an American is a minority now in Chicago there, because he brings in so many women from different countries. But it's amazing because now I have friends from all over the world that I've got to meet.
Right, and definitely, I mean, that's, as band guys and comedians and stuff, and as a wrestler, it's the same thing. It's about networking, and it's about building relationships with people. Yeah, maybe eventually get management and stuff, but till then, you're booking yourself by who you're working with and who you're building relationships and who you're helping out, and it's a web that should help each other. Is that something that's strong in the female wrestling in your scene right now, or?
Absolutely. You're only as good as your opponent. If you're not helping your opponent and your opponent's not helping you, it's not going to be a very good match, And how you say it's kind of like being a comedian and being in a band and all that. I mean, I'm not a comedian or in a band by any stretch of the imagination. My only talent is that I can wrestle. But, when I was younger, my favorite band, I used to travel all over the country to see them. And I really feel like that prepared me for the wrestling, because I don't know if I could do these sleepless nights driving by myself from city to city, from, now I'm in Canada pretty frequently as well, going from Canada to here to wherever in the next city. I don't know if I could do that if I didn't, go and hang out with my favorite band when I was younger.
Right, and you definitely have to do, what was the band?
Lucky Boys Confusion. I'm actually rocking the t-shirt, just saying.
Oh, okay.
Rocking the t-shirt. Their guitarist died, one of their guitarists died in May, and they had their 15-year show and a memorial show for him when I was in Chicago, and so it just happened to work out so well that I was already going to be there for wrestling, and that they had that show at the same time.
You do a lot of work. You were doing work with Billy Corgan's crew, that Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan has a wrestling promotion in Chicago, right?
Yes, Resistance Pro. It's amazing. The first show, I didn't get to meet him because he was actually in Prague on tour with Smashing Pumpkins, and he was watching the show live via Skype. It was crazy because it's like, wow, look at how much technology we have here, that somebody in Prague, Italy is watching us right now, and then, hold on, wait a second, it's Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins of all people.
That is great technology. We eventually, on the Order Sphere of Death, will be able to do a podcast, right? But eventually we're going to get there to where we can Skype and stuff like that.
Billy Corgan's bald, creepy head staring at me.
He's obviously he's a very interesting person just from his accomplishments alone, but just to be able to sit and talk to him, he's actually really brilliant. Like the way he...
How hands-on is he with the wrestling, though? Is he just a financier, or does he
he's
booking and stuff?
Very hands-on. Very hands-on. I haven't been there the last couple months. Right now, there's just not a need for me with the story that they're going with. And, he's very hands-on. He sits down with you before the show, goes over, certain things that he's looking for. And he was always very hands-on in the women's wrestling portion of it, especially. He has unique ideas that I've never heard of before. And, when you're going to be in this match, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then, he has to sit there and explain it, but,
So he's like the Bruce Hart of rock guys?
Yeah, he's just... It's ridiculous. These concepts that he comes up with, I'm just like, how in the world did you put this and this and this together to make this match?
The guy is brilliant. I think Siamese Dream is one of my favorite albums of the 90s.
Oh, definitely.
So that's awesome. Now, you started off, we're going to go back here a little bit.
Oh, no.
In Akron, your first gig was an announcer, and you got that because you were, this is what I want to talk about, a DJ at a bowling alley. How does that work? What is that? I've never seen a DJ at a bowling alley before.
Well, it was, this is back before, you had your iPods and all that. I would just take in my handful of CDs. And, this is when Napster was cool and all that.
Before Lars Ulrich raped him in the butt.
Exactly. So I would take in all these burned CDs and, whatever was popular, basically on Top 40 radio, because people at the bowling alley are usually your kids listening.
No, let's not lie about it. It's people in Akron, not just...
Okay. Yeah. So I would take in a handful of my CDs and take requests, and I really had fun with it. It was, something that really got me into broadcasting originally, and then, it just kind of ran from there.
And so that's kind of where it even came from, and just kind of with the whole idea to talk and to kind of entertain people through like auditory kind of sense?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I think I always thought that I was going to be in the entertainment business at some point of doing something.
Right.
And it's like every venture that I go into, it just seems like, okay, now I'm adding a new step. Like I started DJing and then I was doing wrestling, or I was announcing for wrestling first, and then I started wrestling, and then it's like now I went back to school and I'm doing films and stuff like that. It's like it's crazy. I just kind of run with it, I guess.
And that's what it's all about. And that you just got to, we were all taught that at school is you step out that door and you build your network and you build your experiences, and that makes you. I haven't done shit, to be honest.
I've done one thing, but I mean, it was the greatest experience of my life. I worked on a film called Fireball Run.
Right, now I actually do want to get to that.
Okay. I won't spoil that.
Let me run the interview, okay? Just because we went to broadcasting school together doesn't mean this is the Sassy Steph host Tough Scene Cleveland. Damn it. Jamie Shearer, keep her in mind, all right?
I don't know. She might hit me in the face.
He'll hit on you if you don't. Anyways, so did you think at the time, like, was it like the draw? Was it to be an announcer, or were you thinking already that you kind of wanted to get into wrestling?
I actually, when I was a DJ at the bowling alley, I had no really goals of going anywhere with the wrestling. I was attending. I was like 18 or 19 at the time, and there was a bar down the street that had wrestling every week, every Tuesday night. And I was going there, and one week I was having 80s night, and one of the commentators who I became friends with was like, oh, I'm going to come out because he's a huge 80s fan. So he came out to the show, saw that I knew how to work a microphone, all that, and just like a week or two later, the ring announcer happened to be sick. So he was like, hey, can you just like fill in for us? You already know everybody, you know their information, can you just fill in?
Right.
And I was like, all right, yeah, no problem. And then I started doing it every week. They were like, wow, this girl's better than, the guy that we have. And, at the time, Lillian Garcia was the ring announcer for WWE. So that was something that people in Ohio wanted to run with. They're like, holy crap, a girl.
And that's why you never call off sick.
Right, exactly.
Because I will steal your job.
Right, especially in entertainment, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost called off sick today, and then Jimmy Shearer would have been totally on a Tough Scene Cleveland.
Tough Scene Cleveland with Jeremy Shearer.
No. It's all dirty stuff all the time.
We're raping all our guests.
So Jeff Cannon, who was the owner of Ohio Championship Wrestling, trained you, and then you made your first appearance in 2007 against, her name was Lexi Lane, but she's now known in TNA as Madison Rain. Mm-hmm. Has the TNA thing ever been something that you've... Now, I heard some people have done so well on the indie scene, and it's, the indie scene works. Obviously, CM Punk stayed on the indie scene for a while, and Bryan Danielson...
Daniel Bryan
now, they kind of stayed on the scene because it worked better for them at that time. You guys like M-Dog and Josh Prohibition, who've always been out. Have you found, is something TNA, is that something you're kind of working for, or you're kind of doing your own thing?
I'm kind of doing my own thing as far as wrestling is concerned. I'm not really the type that people are looking for right now. That type is actually changing.
Female
too.
That can wrestle and isn't a porn star.
Right. But that's actually changing. Sarah Del Rey, who is a great influence on my career. If you don't know who Sarah Del Rey is, Google her right now. She is phenomenal. In fact, she is one of 2 girls ever that was made the top 500 males list in PWI.
The PWI 500? That is...
So it was her and China.
Wrestling fans, just so you know, if you're not a wrestling fan, listeners, which most of you probably aren't, but... and
that's a shame.
Yeah, screw you.
It
we
is
hate
a shame.
You. But anyways, PWI is... pretty much like it's the Sports Illustrated of wrestling, and every year they do their top 500 wrestlers, and it's all the big guys, but they also, it's everyone around the country. They don't ignore indie people. If you're one of the best 500, you will make it.
Absolutely, and they actually do a top 50 women's as well.
And she made the male.
She made the male and female. I think she's number 3 or something on the females. Gail Kim's number 1. I don't know who number 2 is. I can't remember. But the new magazine for the top 50 come out, for the top 50 women come out next week, I do believe. And I made number 41 again this year.
Oh, amazing. Very good.
So take that, top 50 women in the world. That's
you
right.
see, Bill Apter or Stuart Sachs knows where his bread for who the big star is going to be.
I would have said Bill Apter, too.
Bill Apter, right.
Bill Apter.
I'm that
I
out of
love
touch.
him.
But Apter's not with them anymore, right? Apter's
No.
doing it, yeah.
But he is one of the most sincere, sweetest men I've ever met in this wrestling business. You meet a lot of people, and a lot of them are scumbags, but
Yes.
he is just genuinely the nicest person in the world. Just looks out for everybody. Him and at first we had a very love-hate relationship. I loved him, and I thought he hated me. Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart, he is absolutely a doll too. Like,
South, baby!
Yeah, I thought he hated me, but we actually sat down and talked one time, and he was like, I really hope that you make something in this business, whatever you want it to be, because you are the hardest working woman I have ever seen in the wrestling business. And I was like, holy shit.
You keep it up, he's going to have your face on the back of his jacket. That'd be awesome. The new beautiful Sassy Stephy. What's the line on your shirt?
I'm not bad, I'm just booked that way.
I'm just booked that way. Jimmy Hart could have that on the back of his jacket. Those T-shirts are. How would we get real quick before we go on the interview? Let's do some business here.
Yeah, let's
do
plug
some
that
plugs.
shirt.
Yeah, what's going on?
Facebook is facebook.com/official Sassy Stephie. You can find me on Twitter as Sassy Stephie, on Instagram as Sassy Stephie. Basically, search Sassy Stephie. Millions of things will come up on Google for you.
I typed in S and I got it right away. I have to type in my name, Cleveland, Parma, parentheses, this, that, and that, just to get one single thing. My songs aren't even up on YouTube anymore. I can't even find them anymore. But Sassy Steffi, boom. You just type in S-A and you'll find like a million things. And the T-shirts, the merch, awesome looking, very cool, and I love the catchphrase. It's friggin' awesome.
For those who don't know, I kind of resemble Jessica Rabbit, and I do that on purpose.
In the boobs, definitely.
The boobs, the ass, the hair. I love Jessica Rabbit. And so my newest T-shirt, which actually comes out next week, I am in a Jessica Rabbit-esque pose. And it says, her famous line from the movie is, I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way. So I took the line and made it my own and said, I'm not bad, I'm just booked that way.
That's awesome. Incidentally enough, I look exactly like Baby Herman from Who Framed Roger Rabbit also.
I don't appreciate the cigar smoke being constantly blown in my face.
I'm actually in a stroller here. I think I just crapped my diaper, Jimmy Shear. Get the Jeff. He's got to clean it up.
Def Jeff, tongue right now.
So you moved on. You started with Shimmer in 2008. We started about them a little bit. You've been in 2011 though. You made and you did a lot of tag team stuff. And in 2007 you formed something. You're still doing the Midwest Militia, right?
Yeah, actually we formed that in 2011.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
Oh yes, I have it right here. I just read it wrong.
Yeah, the Midwest Militia is myself, Jessica Havoc, and Allison Kay, and basically we take a machete to the ring and kill bitches. And that's the nicest way to put it. I mean, I could explain more about it, but I mean, that's just it in a nutshell right there.
Is it a Hutu chopping knife or is it a jungle machete?
No, it is a jungle machete. Actually, it's pretty entertaining because now I have multiple of them because I have an Amazon wish list and I put a couple up there and I was like, no one's gonna buy me a machete off my wish list. But every time I put anything weapon wise, my fans are like, buy, we're gonna see that in a match.
Don't you know anything about the internet? That's the first thing people want to buy you.
Yeah, I put up sexy outfits and they're like, yeah, pass, we'll buy the machete.
Jimmy Shear gets to do you do that machetes on Amazon too?
Yeah, I'm putting up a wish list now. Give me weapons.
So that was you turned heel. You'd been a face up in that point. For those that don't know, a baby face is a good guy and a heel is a bad guy.
Yeah, 99.9% of the time I am heel. I like to be the bad guy. It's so much easier for me to go out to a crowd and be like, I hate you, and everybody just be like, yeah, I hate you too. Right. And then if they don't know who I am, like if I'm in a town, like say I'm going to this weekend that is in the middle of Pennsylvania and doesn't get Shimmer or WSU or any of the big other female places, they're like, who is this girl? And I go out there and I'm like, yay, cheer for me. They're like, who the hell is this girl? Why do we care? So I just like to go out and insult people. And my manager in Shimmer and at Femme Fatale is French Canadian, so she has taught me insults in French. So now that's my new thing is I'll go out and insult a crowd in French and they get really pissed off because they have no idea what I'm saying now, and I could be saying, the sky is blue, but they have no idea.
It's double insulting.
How French Canadian is she?
She's from Quebec City.
Oh, so
I don't know where you're going with this, but I'm sure it'll get good.
You have more faith in me than I do.
Right, he doesn't know where. When you tell him where, he doesn't know where he's going. And you've been doing the tag things with all of them. You started 2012 though, working more as a single. Also, in addition to now, is this like? How do you work together with the two other girls? Because you guys are all indie people. Like, when you're setting up your stuff, do you have people that book you exclusively as the Midwest Militia? Or is it like, oh, we all are booked at the same thing, we'll do it tonight?
Well, it's hard for it. We don't ever get all individually booked at the same place because, I mean, it's just, especially other independent shows, it's just really hard for them to afford that many women coming from wherever we're coming from.
And it's you and Allison Kay that is actually your tag team partner. Right?
Yeah, but we're a faction, we're a group. Wherever you see one, well, if you see two of us, you're pretty much the third's around there somewhere.
Are you Road Dogg or Billy Gunn? And your little DX.
I'm probably Billy Gunn, to be honest.
Are you the secret gay then?
Yeah. How dare you? Listen, Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn must be great because Dolph Ziggler is really trying to be him for some reason. Dolph Ziggler's a million times better than Billy Gunn, but
Dolph Ziggler is the new Mr. Perfect. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree, but his fine finishing moves, the famousser though.
It's amazing because Kurt Hennig's son is in WWE.
Right, I know. Poor Joe, and they changed his name to Michael McGillicuddy. Your name's Henning. But then you got to live up to that, though.
Yeah, and as of yet, he has not done that. But I mean, he has enough talent that he could definitely do it. It's just a matter of showcasing it at the right moment and having. Unfortunately, there's politics and everything, and having the right people in your pocket to get you that push.
Right, exactly. Sassy Stephy is our guest here. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk more wrestling, and then we're going to get into the Fireball Run in a little bit.
Okay.
We also got Tyler sitting, hanging out. We'll talk to him a little bit. And then our other guest, she's here finally. She gets to talk without CJ stepping over everything and hogging all the spotlight. Holly Berry is here by herself. Thank God. We've been trying to do this for a year now. So we'll have Holly Berry from the Deadenders on also. Tustin Cleveland will be back. Tustin Cleveland, we are back. Nick Wolf, Jeremy Shear.
We're back.
And Def Jeff. Oh, he's here. Okay. Also, this is part 2 of the epic Sassy Stephanie interview here. We were just talking to her about her coming up in wrestling and everything like that. But we'll get back to wrestling. But I want to talk really quick. After we graduated, over the last couple months, you were part of something called the Fireball Run.
Yes.
And that was essentially what it was, and I'm sure you can fill us in a little bit more. But it was a reality show, kind of like The Amazing Race, where it was like kind of like Cannonball Run, really, where it was just like people were racing and you had different cities you'd stop in and stuff. And you were part of the production crew on that, right?
Yes, I was part of the live part of it. We were broadcasting live every day, at least 3 times, if not more, depending on what cities we were in and if we could get Wi-Fi service. And it was a lot like, it was a reality film, which is like the first of its kind, is what they were telling me when I first got involved. And what it is it's not an actual race, even though it has, it's an adventure rally. It's a bunch of cars, very cool cars. I mean, never in my life did I think, I'd ever, get to touch a Lamborghini, but I spent 10 days with a Lamborghini that was on this whole thing, and there were Porsches, and then there was actually the Back to the Future car, the DeLorean, the actual one from the 3rd movie was in it.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So the DeLorean should always win. It can just set its flux capacitor, boom, get there 2 days before the race even started.
That's why it's a rally.
And then bang your mom, right? Or almost bang your mom.
But yeah, so it's a rally, and each day they have, we start out at the start line, and they would go out, and they'd get their mission envelopes. They'd have to figure out clues to get to their mission, and then
so it's kind of like The Amazing Race in that way, where
it kind of, and but what it is, the actual only race part of it is America's race to find America's missing children. It has the whole not only are they going out and doing all these missions, but each team, there's 40 teams every year, they have a poster from a missing child from their area, and the goal is to find every missing children, obviously, but I mean, the goal is to help raise awareness to find that missing child.
Was John Walsh driving the Lamborghini?
No.
That is actually a great cause, and it's cool when you do something like that and still help people out at the same time.
And each city came out it was amazing. I felt like there was one town we went to. It was just a lunch destination, and we were literally there for 25 minutes. I was there a little bit longer because being part of the live team, I went and set up before the guys got there. But all we had was this little gray vehicle. SUV, and we come into the city, and the street, it's like a Wednesday afternoon. They've called off school for all the schools because it's Fireball Run Day. They all came down and had this big parade area, and I had myself.
So that's where the missing children are at. They're skipping school going to a race.
Yes. Well, and this is the 5th year they've done Fireball Run. This is, I believe, the 3rd year of actual film production, and they found 41 missing children so far in 5 years, including 2 this year, which were both the Cleveland teams have their missing children back at home.
That is awesome. So you guys are doing some good. That's great. Now, production it had been pretty tricky, like all the kind of setups. So you guys were following on like a camera car, right? Pretty much.
No, we were in just regular vehicles, and I was part of the remote team, which we just took a laptop and a webcam out and just shot everything that we possibly could, as long as we had a Wi-Fi signal on our hotspot. We went to Watkins Glen racetrack, and there was no signal there whatsoever. But it was so cool because we got to meet Skip Barber, who I guess is a NASCAR legend. I had no idea who he was.
I have no idea either.
But yeah, I mean, it was really cool because there's
Jimmy Shear is Jewish. He doesn't know anything about NASCAR.
I'm shocked. You're a wrestler and know nothing about NASCAR?
Yeah, I know. It is a really big oxymoron, but it happens.
They should go hand in hand.
They usually do.
So, are you going to do it again next year?
Actually, I was on the phone over the week. I did this as an internship kind of thing this year, and the director called me on Friday, and it's not a for sure thing yet, but he asked if I would like to come on as a paid position next year.
That's amazing. We were offered it in school, and you jumped on the initiative. Other of your classmates, like myself and Tyler, were too goddamn lazy to actually send in an audition tape for something.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I heard the information, they're it's going to be, 9 to 10 days on tour. Basically, you're not going to get any sleep. And I'm oh, that's my life anyway.
Right. It's a normal week for you.
Right. So I'm I'm going to go to UPS. I'm going to request that week off as one of my vacation weeks, and I'm going to do this. And I didn't even look back. When I went into my interview, the guy's okay, why do you want to do this? Well, is this going to be interfere with your world life? And I was no, I already canceled everything that week. This is what I'm doing. And he's you're what? I was this is what I am doing. You are going to have me as your intern on this.
And you chopped him in the throat.
No, he asked me though, he was since you're a wrestler, am I going to get a bunch of attitude? I was no sir, I will be, respectful. I'll do what I have to do. He goes, well, if I need you, can you body slam anybody? If they step out of line? I was absolutely, whatever you want, sir.
He said body slam?
It might have been, I don't know, probably body slam, I would imagine. That's what most
Don't
people
contradict our guest, Jeremy Shear.
Well, no, because most people that aren't wrestling fans, they're probably oh, can you body slam me? And I'm yeah, I can body slam you, but I'm not going to do it. I like, even though I don't throw drop kicks, I'll always be I'm going to drop kick you in the face.
You should
I can't jump that high.
You should pick them up like Sheamus did the Big Show and just drop them.
With a white noise?
That was awesome, I got to say. So, and you've competed, and so, you got that going on. Obviously, the wrestling, you've competed with Ring of Honor, Chikara, obviously Shimmer. So, I mean, when it comes to in the indies, I mean, you're really in the big leagues there. I gotta say hats off to all you female wrestlers for really building up a scene and making something awesome happen.
Well, I mean, there's so many women's wrestlers in the independent scene that came before me that's really, started the path for us. And now the girls, they're still doing it. Some of them are still doing it as well. But then, us now, the girls coming up in the business, we're really kind of all right, you started digging this path. Now we're just going to run with it, and we're going to, beat it down everybody until, people respect it. And, now we have all of these all-women shows that are doing phenomenal. DVDs sell hotcakes. I mean, Shimmer especially is, we obviously know some people are going to find this very attractive and do what they do in their own households.
Right.
Whatever. But, Shimmer is
Or in the first 3 seats of a Jimmy Shear show.
Exactly.
Yeah. We do give away old All Japan women's tapes to help some of our randier fans out.
But Shimmer is very not, the guy that runs it is very, don't do sex spots. Don't be rubbing your ass in somebody's face.
Save
we
that
want
for
the
Vinnie
respect.
Mac. Right.
Oh yeah, Vinnie Mac definitely respects women's wrestling. But Vinnie Mac, if you would like to hire me, I'm willing to do whatever you need me to
Right,
do.
exactly. We join the get on your hands and knees and bark like a dog.
Hey, it's if that's what needs to be done. I would prefer to work production in the back, but if he needs me to lay down and do whatever I need to do to get a job within limitations.
Oh, you heard it here first. Hopefully, Sassy Stephie's boyfriend is not listening.
She's willing to take many flat back bumps for whoever she needs to.
Within limitation, that did come out really wrong. But if he needs me to bark like a dog, like he made Trish Stratus, and I'm gonna have a great career in WWE, I would definitely bark like a dog.
She went out to be one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, and she started off as just a fitness model, just eye candy, and
right.
She became this great women's wrestler
with 2 overrated jobbers.
Well, yeah, but one's dead and one came back to WWE.
I wish he was dead.
And he had a push for a whole month, and then they're like, oh yeah, this guy sucks.
It's still Albert. I don't care what kind of tattoo you give him. I want to do something with you here.
Okay.
It's called Cool or a Dick. And I wanted to run through some wrestlers here.
Okay.
Just tell us about it. I know you've come across a lot of people in the business.
And some people I've ranted about, some people will say a name, and I'm like, oh, I hate that guy.
Well, one name I'm going to give you.
I know, and it's probably going to be the first one, and I'm going to go on an hour-long rant about why I hate this man.
We'll do someone real quick. We talked about it earlier. Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, he is the coolest guy in the world. He's super sweet. His whole family's really nice.
JC Koschetzky.
JC gave me a break when nobody else in Cleveland would.
Let's see. Who else we have? Jason Bane.
Jason Bane is a big teddy bear no matter what his character on TV may be.
Jessica Havoc.
One of my best friends in the business.
Let's see. Nevaeh.
We started off rocky when I first met her, but now she is also somebody that I trust.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Fuck him.
We have a theme here on the show. I love, for some reason, Jake the Snake Roberts has really made an impact on a lot of people in the scene. Yeah. And not too many good words about Mr. Snake.
Well, the first couple times I met him, he was sober and absolutely a dream to work with, and he was very good friends with Sensational Sherry, who is my all-time idol. And so I would ask him questions about Sherry, and he would, he was really cool about it. But then we had a show JC ran in Cleveland, and Jake the Snake was on it. Well, he decided to fall off the wagon that day, starting on one of the local radio shows here.
Right, and we had talked about JC with that about that. And yeah, you were there for that.
Oh yeah, I was definitely there. We had tons of Boy Scouts in the crowd that night. Jake got drunk, and I don't know what drugs he was on, but he was definitely on something.
Well, JC admits that they kind of were young and kind of sort of didn't watch him as good, kind of didn't really know what to say at a certain point. A legend like that. It's a weird situation.
We're all in our early 20s at the time, and, Jake's this legend that comes in, and, we're supposed to babysit him and make sure he doesn't fall off the wagon. But what do you say when Jake the Snake's 6'4", 250 pounds, and he's like, I want a vodka or alcohol or whatever. What are you going to say? No, sir. He's going to beat your ass.
And you grew up idolizing the guy, too. I mean, he's a legend. I was a piece of shit now. Okay, AJ Lee.
I have not met her, but she was in WSU where I'm at now in New York before I was there, and nobody has anything bad to say about her. And what she has done in the WWE, she has absolutely taken the ball and run with it. And I'm not a guy, obviously, but I love crazy chicks.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not after AJ's just having this awesome time being a crazy chick on WWE?
Well, that's why I hated her at first, but she's starting to kind of grow on because, who's this chick? There's all these other chicks that have been working their asses out.
But you know what? She's amazing. She's a great wrestler, and that's where I think the turn of wrestling and women's wrestling in WWE is coming from. Kelly's not there anymore. The Bella Twins aren't there anymore. But who is? AJ Lee. Fortunately, Beth Phoenix, took her own career into her own hands, and she asked for her release. But I mean, you have Natty Neidhart. You have women there who can actually wrestle, and they just hired Sarah Del Rey. Honestly, seriously, Sarah Del Rey, best women's wrestler in the world. I don't care what anybody has to say. Alive right now, she's the best. And to have her under a WWE contract, whether she's just training the divas or not, greatest investment WWE could have done.
And so do you you probably feel kind of like how the indie guys did when CM Punk and Daniel Bryan started kind of getting their pulls. Like, all right, for us, yeah, someone like us can actually make it.
Yeah, like right now, like to me, when I first started in the business, when I wrestled with Ring of Honor, in fact, Austin Aries, who was, just recently the TNA champion, Bryan Daniels or Daniel Bryan, depending if you knew him before WWE or not.
Right.
You have CM Punk, you have Antonio Cesaro, who is, Claudio Castagnoli. I mean, these people that I know.
And I want to ask you about, I love Antonio Cesaro, and I remember him, as Claudio Castagnoli. Him, Dick or cool?
Oh, he's so cool. My second match at Ring of Honor, I really fucked up. And
you didn't shake the hand before?
No, it wasn't. It was in the ring. It was. I messed up the finish really bad, and I was depressed because at that time Ring of Honor it's in its heyday. It just got TV. This is the first or second women's match on TV for Ring of Honor, and I just felt terrible. And the guy who was running Ring of Honor, he was like, "Oh, it's no big deal." Adam Pearce, he was fantastic. But some of the other people in the locker room were very, very hard on me.
Right.
And I'm only a year in the business. I had no right to be at Ring of Honor at that point in time anyway. And Claudio pulled me aside and sat down for probably about 20 minutes and just explained to me why, maybe it wasn't what I wanted, but I didn't necessarily fuck up. It was just something, it's a learning experience, and just he helped me grow so much. And every time I saw him after that, I just thanked him immensely because he was such a, I think I probably would have hung up my boots that day if it weren't for him.
That's awesome when you get somebody. I remember after the Nick Wolf Band show, we really sucked, and Billy Morris came to me, and he patted me on the shoulder and said, "You did good, buddy." So it's kind of the same thing. I was like, Billy Morris is my Claudio Castagnoli, so
okay.
I know what you're saying. So, and last one, and I know you love the guy, Zack Ryder.
I love Zack Ryder. I have not met Zack Ryder, but I absolutely love him. And my finish, even though I didn't get it from Zack Ryder per se, I got it from a guy in Michigan, CK3. It was escaping me there for a minute because he goes by a different name now. But CK3 actually is where I saw it for the first time. But when Zack Ryder used it in WWE as his finish, I was like, I'm definitely using my finish now. And now it's more well known as the Kiss My Sass instead of the Rough Rider or whatever he called it.
I like the Kiss My Sass better.
But yeah, I love Zack Ryder.
At least you took that, not the stupid sunglasses and headband.
No, I can't pull off a Guido look.
Right. So what do you got going on? What are your gigs coming up here, Sassy Steph? People want to come check you out.
This weekend, I'm in West Newton, Pennsylvania, wrestling Darcy Dixon from North Carolina. On the weekend after that, I am in Tampa, Florida for Shine Wrestling, which is a new upcoming women's promotion ran by Lexi Fife. If you know anything about women's wrestling, she is when I said the people digging that path before I got on it, she was probably one of the very first people, besides Fabulous Moolah, Sensational Sherry, the people that obviously get the most credit. Her and Malaya Husaka are probably the two that were pounding the pavement the hardest for women's wrestling, and she's still doing it, and now she runs her own women's company, and that's amazing. Then December 8th, I'll be back in Ohio. I'll be in Mansfield, Ohio, wrestling a girl named Jessie James, and that pretty much wraps up my year.
Well, that's great. So get out there, check her out. If you're interested, check out the female indie scene, because really they are putting on great shows. You have a lot of people that women, they wouldn't have necessarily had the chance to end this going. They're taking it. They're taking any sort of thing. They're running with it. And they're putting on great shows. So get out to these places and check out Sassy Steffi. Mm-hmm. It's been great having you here. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. It's way past my bedtime because I work at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I felt like this was definitely the place I needed to be tonight.
I appreciate that very much. You made a very big mistake, but I appreciate that thought.
The mistakes have only just begun.
Tufts in Cleveland. We'll be back in a minute with Holly Berry. Tough Scene Cleveland, we are back. Nick Wolf, Jeremy Shear.
We're back.
And Death Chef.
Yo.
And we just had Sassy Stephie in talking some wrestling. Now we're going to go back. This is a music show. I don't like talking to bands too much, though. I try to get away from that.
No, not a bit.
We had enough with the Burning Harlots last time.
There was way too much beard in one room.
There was. We're changing gears a little bit. It is actually an honor once to our next guest, Holly Berry. She's been on the show before, but she's been on with CJ. We haven't actually been able to talk to you, and I'd rather talk to you any day.
Oh, thank you very much. It'll be my pleasure.
So we have, when it comes to music, and I feel like my history, what I starting and going through the cycle and all that, I really kind of look at you as pretty much more than anybody, like as my closest peer, because you and I kind of both started at the same time and kind of had the same people influence us. I guess you kind of started hanging, like becoming friends with the Subtones at the time. Mm-hmm. I want to bring up, Aaron and CJ, obviously, and Jerry at that time. And I got to know you. You were friends with mutual friends of ours, and you started hanging out with us. We'd watch South Park and stuff like that, and all hang out and everything. And then you start bringing around these goofballs, this little midget.
Yeah,
and then,
I'm sorry.
You start bringing Aaron around, and I've been stuck with him ever goddamn since. It's all your fault.
I'm sorry.
I can't have a positive thought without it being brought down anymore.
I'm just an Italian right now.
Right. Yeah, just the next second word. I'll tell you right now. Right now. And then obviously a couple of months later, you guys were coming hanging out, and I remember I was walking upstairs, and my buddy Dave, whose house it was at the time, was like, "Listen, Holly's got some friends over. They look kind of faggy. I think they're kind of weird. Just be nice to them." And
really?
That was the first thing I was ever told about. And then I walked in, and CJ and Jerry were sitting there. So,
oh God, that's funny.
So we both kind of, they play shows, and we'd be at them and stuff like that. And I remember, kind of when it started for me, and you were very quick around that same time, Dream State Studios came, and I remember the first time I ever recorded anything, you were sitting right there in the room with me and just nodding, and it really meant a lot, and I still remember that moment.
Oh, wow, that's good. And
then I look at you started picking up the guitar and writing songs, and it was cool. I always felt like you and Dave Schlund, from Slutbox, I feel like the three of us kind of at the same time kind of took those influences of those other people, like, we want to make music too. We can do it too.
Right.
You started the band Venus in Flames, right? That was the first.
Yeah, that was my first attempt at actually having a full band where someone took me seriously enough. CJ was, in fact, involved with that, and then a slew of other people I don't even remember anymore. It just gave me my chance to say, well, I've got some things here. I never even... coming as a person who was teaching myself how to play guitar, never sang, did anything like that. But I'm like, well, I'm going to stand up and do this. And I mean,
you got sick of listening to CJ, let's be honest.
Well,
you gotta hear him
I guess.
riffing and singing all the time. You got to drown that out somehow.
I was going to say, well, yeah, he's not the best singer. He tries.
He's got his own style.
Better.
He's got his own style. That's
His beard is amazing.
I'm probably wearing a CJ in the Exceptions shirt.
Yeah, I know. I see that.
I need a Deadenders shirt. I would have worn that.
Yeah, me too.
Everyone needs one. They need to be made.
Well, I do like the Misery Jackals t-shirt.
Well, thank you. Yes, I threw this on today as I was leaving work. But
I've worked with them a bunch. They're fun guys.
They're good guys. It was Ben, right? He does the chicken suit thing.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna probably have him in a couple weeks. Actually, we're doing a Tough Scene Akron show.
Hide all of your beer. Drink all of it.
So, and I remember that, your drummer in Venus in Flames had this practice spot. And it had parachutes on the top of it.
Yeah.
And, everyone thinks that's why chick rockers are tough, because to be a girl and deal with some of the things that guys just take for granted, the squalor and the filth, and then just be able to put up with that's some toughness right there.
Oh, thank you. No, that was a very interesting, unique situation. It was literally a warehouse downtown Cleveland, off of East 63rd and St. Clair. Not the nicest of neighborhoods by any means, but it was a place to go in, drink, smoke my weed, whatever it may be, and just make music. But yeah, it was pretty squalid.
It's a good thing you were smoking your weed and not the local weed.
Right.
Yeah, there was probably plenty of that around as well, but. So yeah, that was definitely where I guess where it started. I suppose I had to learn somewhere. Had to get out of the living room, basically.
And then after that, I think you joined the Subtones for a while.
Yeah. Eventually, what happened as a slew of people came in and out of the band. Things fizzle out after so long. We all know that. I guess I got good enough, quote unquote, to do something that I was already familiar with. As you were saying, we were around each other and around all these other people coming up doing what they wanted to do. Finally, when you realize I can do this too, I just kind of jumped in and I'm like, well, I can learn these songs and play them too. So did the Subtones for a few years, and of course, different renditions of.
Because it's any of us that are in these Parma bands, we're like a big group of people that are always trading.
It's almost
members.
like incestual.
It is. Aaron's
too many people involved.
Aaron's like the big connector of a lot of people. Like Aaron's been in every band. It doesn't.
Yeah, I know. For sure.
He's a little band slut.
Right, and you came on playing wise. The Revolution was probably the big venue at that time that we were playing, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
Where was your first gig at?
My first, the Maple Grove was the first place that I ever actually went with a regular PA in front of people. Yeah, so I would say that, and then probably Revolution.
All right, I think we did that too we did that show with you, right?
Yeah, because there wasn't a lot of. There were a lot of places. Obviously, there places come and go around all the time. But when you're starting out, you're not going to get booked in the garage shop or anything like that. So you have to,
Well, not being from Parma, you're not.
Right.
Well, right. Well, yeah, it came eventually, fortunately.
I had a better chance when I was starting out and getting booked anywhere. Since I've gone on in my career, the opportunities have really narrowed a lot.
Right. Yeah.
And now, and I know through your career and being on stage and being a female, the one hard thing about being on stage is you may have idiots in the audience that may heckle and say awful stuff. What are you talking about? I encourage you every time. But no, how do you go? Like, it's got to be kind of rural. Because I'll tell a story. We had a show where you and a lot of your friends from work came down, and it was like,
right.
And I get on stage before, and I said some pretty awful things. I'm not sure what I said, but they were about doing things because Holly and I have a love-hate relationship. I love to harass her, and she hates being harassed by me. But one day, Holly, it's gonna happen. I've been working her down for about 15 years now. Can you guys?
Calluses are pretty big on your hand, Nick. I think you're doing fine.
Oh, how dare you! We're gonna close the gates to the orbital sphere of death, and Holly's gonna be locked in here with me. But how do you get past, like, that's something I don't have to deal with. No one ever sexually harasses
you know
me
what? I honestly have to say, you know me, obviously, as long as you have. Other than a very few people, I'm around guys all the time.
Yeah.
I know how nothing offends me. It doesn't faze me. I'll laugh at the crudest things. I don't really care. That doesn't affect me. So to say, like, on stage to ever have anything like that, no, honestly, if somebody would, I'll just kick them or something.
Right, you've gotten pretty tough over the years, yeah, and you've become more formidable with, like, talking back, too.
It doesn't, when I'm up there, and it's trying to sound egotistical, I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't care what the drunk guy in front of me saying or doing. It doesn't.
You hear that, Jimmy Shear? She doesn't care.
It does. I'll continue about what I'm doing. I mean, if I can make a comeback, fine, I will. If not, I'm not worried about it.
I'll put my pants back on.
Yeah, put that away.
Well, you've gone like 15 years now with every time you move or bend in any way, having one of your dude friends go. So that kind of makes you a little bit tougher. Because I will say, I love Holly. I really do. I like giving her shit, and that is.
And I don't care. I don't.
No,
care.
you definitely have a very strong ability to thick skin, I guess is the word. So then after Subtones, it was the Deadenders. Yes. And that was more like, you'd have your chance to write your songs with Venus in Flames.
Right.
And you had a chance to kind of rock and have more of like, fitting in with the unit of the band, the Subtones, and you kind of merged all that together with the Deadenders.
Yeah.
And, how did that come about? Like, obviously, the Deadenders were kind of like it's all people that you came up with in music. How did they come together? That it's like, all right, I've known you guys forever. Let's put something together here.
Well, I think what happened was, like, starting with the first band with Venus in Flames, I wasn't capable, I guess, enough. Like, in my mind, I was a lot further in advance than I really was. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to do, I wanted to be the Mike Ness or whomever else that was out there just playing the songs the way I wanted to play the music. I couldn't
Right.
do it yet.
Right.
You know, I just wasn't skilled enough. And not saying I'm great.
That's the great thing about
wonderful now.
local rock and roll and punk rock and that whole genre. You know, this you can do that though.
Well,
you can kind of work on it,
exactly.
and then eventually have enough work that you can get there.
Exactly.
I think you'd probably need throat cancer to be Mike Ness, though.
Well, this is true. But, you know, I'm just saying in general. So by the time the subtones, things like, okay, good, you know, I'm playing the faster punk rock that I like and that, you know, that I want to be doing. So then eventually by doing the Deadenders, actually before that really happened, a little thing called the Pinheads happened.
Oh yeah, yes.
So what that was is a Ramones tribute band that in fact involved, which is now the full members of the Deadenders, which is CJ, Aaron, and Jerry playing drums. Kind of came about because we're like, well, let's play some Ramones songs for fun. I'm going to sing them. So we did that to do some shows and stuff, and it went over well. And considering people are going, oh, that's a pretty odd Joey Ramone, but
Right, yeah.
this works.
Joey
you know,
Ramone's
for
got
some
beautiful
reason.
tits.
Yeah, you know, thanks. But so I think we're just kind of doing that. So since we finally, all of a sudden, I found myself with very, into all their credit, very talented at what they all do, and we're all friends. So I'm like, I've got some songs I'm writing, and I was pissed about some stuff, so I was writing some more, you know, aggravated songs, I guess, and I said, let's just play them.
That goddamn CJ watching fucking trains.
No, fortunately, that was
He wasn't doing that yet.
No, not
That was back in the good old days when he was drinking.
yeah, so it just kind of came into the way of like, let's do this. I'm fortunate. I can rehearse in my house, you know. So it was like everything just kind of was like, fuck it, let's write some songs and play these, you know, and take it from there.
And you guys you managed to go on despite Aaron's protests over the years and just the overall fun that is dealing with Aaron in a band.
Well, Aaron's a good egg. I mean, and honestly, Aaron wasn't even the original bass player. I mean, there were some other people. Our good friend Todd.
Yeah, Todd May was
downtown. You know, he played with us for a while, and it was good, honestly. But you know, people, and we're still friends to this day. But when it came to needing someone else, it was like, Aaron, can you help me out? Aaron was playing with you at the time,
Right, exactly.
so it's like, you know, we're like sharing.
That is the way it is. There are so many of us bands that have like interchange kind of members and stuff. You and I, when are we starting a band together, Holly?
I don't know.
Damn it! What's going on here?
We're still supposed to do our duet of "I Got You."
Oh yeah.
Afterwards, Nick is going to ski into a tree.
So and the Deadenders is pretty much what you've been doing since.
Yeah.
And we had some good shows. You guys, we did the what shows did we do together? Like at the Jig? So we did some of those big ones.
Those are
right?
blurry nights. You're not going to remember all that. Well, I had some, actually, unfortunately, I had a couple ill-fated shows at the Jigsaw that didn't happen that were supposed to be happening.
Right. Well, and that's what you're our baddest. I remember. I think you guys opened for a Cult of Psychic Fetus, and all your amps went out.
Yeah.
And it was just, but you still.
It was us and Uncle Scratch and Cult of Psychic
So like you gotta, you know, that's that's a quite of a line to to achieve, but you handled it well, better than some members of your band.
Yeah. There's been some things. I mean, I think, Jerry broke his drums one night. I mean, it was just stupid shit. But no, there were some good shows, definitely. And I know, like I said, it's kind of a blur. I mean, I don't have that recollection like CJ does. I can tell you everything from like day one, but
right.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, he'll tell you everything you want to hear and don't want to hear.
Apparently, smoking your weed has done something for you.
Well, I do. Well,
we'll edit that out. Don't worry. We don't want anyone to think that we're a bunch of drug users here at Tough Scene Cleveland. Not by any means.
Deaf Jeff is tying off right now.
He's fucked up on Smack. That's why he's not been on. Let's be honest.
No, if he was fucked up on Smack, people, he'd be talking a lot more.
You guys actually did a really big show with the Pinheads at the Capitol Theater. It was the Rock and Roll High School thing.
Yes. Yeah, that was awesome. Jim Lanza, for those who don't know him, organized it. He doesn't do a lot of events, but when he does, he puts a lot into it. It was basically a show put on at the Happy Dog, and they had various bands come in and do Ramones tribute songs for the night. Well, we just did it because we already were a Ramones tribute band. So when and did that, they were playing Rock and Roll High School up at the Capitol Theater. So it was a good night. It was
like
packed
a cool
asses
Ramones
to
night.
it was that was awesome. So that was a good experience. As far as just getting out there doing something that we would do in our sleep anyway.
Right.
You know?
I talked to the other guys. It seemed like after the Pinheads started doing stuff, there became more Ramones cover bands. I know Pat Kim from the Beatnik Termites had his, and there became like the Rockaway Beach Boys, I think, and stuff like that.
Yeah, there has been a few.
They ripped you off, just like, how does it feel being someone that everyone else rips off, like myself?
Yeah.
Every single thing you do, people are just stealing it.
Yeah, but you know what? You're going to have that on all levels. I mean, isn't that what we all do? I mean, really?
No, I have never. No, how dare you?
No, nobody steals my shit.
Nothing. It's all yours.
Nobody. If anybody steals my shit, I'll beat the fuck out of them. 'Cause that's comedy, though. It's a little.
Dane Cook, stay away from Jamie Shearer.
But I'll be honest with you, and I can say it right here, right now. There's a lot of people out there imitating it, but not too many people get it right.
Right, exactly.
And that's just coming straight from the people that I've heard it. We've heard it on all levels. It's.
And you guys, before you did, every single person in the band, especially lineup now, are all huge Ramones fans.
Absolutely.
You, CJ, obviously, Aaron, Jerry.
Oh, sure. That's how. That's really what united everybody in the first place was that band. In all truth. So, to take what we did with it, even just made sense.
Yes. So you guys kind of didn't play gigs for a little while. You've been playing gigs again. You guys did, obviously, the big Halloween show with the Burning Harlots.
Yes.
And then you have a big epic show the night before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
God, you guys are so dumb. It's the Deadenders, Burning Harlots, and who am I? Kid Damage.
Is that Jimmy?
That's Jimmy, okay. Yeah, Jimmy from Bria's band. And the mistake was made somewhere. The joke played by CJ was to have me MC.
Yeah, I heard. I just heard that actually.
So yeah, that's what you have to deal with. So that's good. Was there a time where you're like, hey, kind of the music and it kind of got back to you, or what's going on right now?
Well, as far as the way when we do stuff, it's hot and cold. You go periods where you're like, nothing's going on. But if something's worth it, and it comes in waves, and all of a sudden we're doing more. Like, we've been down in Akron and Canton a little bit more, which surprisingly there's actually I shouldn't say that about Akron, but Canton, there's a surprise right there.
Yeah.
There's some cool people down there, the people at Buzzbin that... Yeah. So, there's a lot going on. So if there's things that are worth it, we're going to go do it. And I'm not saying that nothing's worth it, but there aren't the venues that were
right. When you're an
around.
adult, you can't be, playing the Fantasy on a Tuesday night.
I'm not. And that's I won't, anymore. And as ridiculous as it seems, a band like us, which to me is just straight up meat and potatoes, rock and roll, punk rock. So what? It's a girl singing. There's not a lot of places or events based around that kind of stuff.
Right.
I can open up the Beachland ad, and no disrespect to them or the Grog or anywhere else, but, I don't sit on and play a xylophone and sit on the, in a little chair.
You'll play the ukulele and sing a cutesy little
and that
song.
stuff's good, and I'm not knocking it, but it's
Miss
funny.
Firecracker with My Pussy song.
So it's kind of like, well, you have to make sure you're doing something that's going to at least be around the people who want to hear that kind of music or be involved with that. And let's face it, generations and decades, everybody, if you're 25, you're listening to what your friends are listening to and carrying on. If you're a little bit older, it does go in those genres.
Right.
I've never felt like I landed in the right place and time with any of the music. Even from when I was a kid,
right? We don't know that.
So it's kind of funny. So I don't feel like any different now, whether it's playing the songs or even just what I'm listening to on my own.
Right.
When I was literally, this is no joke. When I was in the 6th grade, living in a very small rural town with no one there but cornfields, and I'm listening to LA Guns Cocked and Loaded, I knew I didn't belong.
Right.
You know what I mean? When New Kids on the Block were popular, there was something different. And then when I got older and it was the punk thing. So to play shows, yeah, you got to play where you kind of belong.
Right, exactly.
When it's appropriate.
You always belong with the Nick Wolf Band anytime we play.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah, where to go? Who knows?
You're my people.
Right, look at you. So now you do a lot of things. You and CJ just got done cleaning the Star Wars figures. It's been a real big week.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, the toys are.
Saw the pictures. That's wow.
That's not even. That's just like a segment of it. I grew up like love. I had my own figures when I was a kid. I remember the first time because at their houses they've always had.
It's kind of shrine-like.
Yeah, it's always like this awesome Star Wars display. There's always been, and it's fucking awesome. I still look at it for hours.
Jay Ellis from the Burning Harlots has a Star Wars room.
Yeah,
they should compare.
They should.
No
kidding.
He's got like 10 grand, I think. Like just.
Which of them is the light side of the Force, and which of them is the dark side of the Force?
Yeah, where Star Wars and guitars collide.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's. Anything? What else you guys? So you got those kind of 2 shows coming up here. Is there any kind of? What is the plan for just kind of take the shows as they come and then?
Yeah, pretty much. We're gonna do a show. I believe it's December 21st. I'm terrible. I can't rattle stuff off the way some people do. I don't live on Twitter or anything like that, so this is just pure recollection. We're doing December 21st back at Buzzbin in Canton. Like I said, we got this Wednesday before Thanksgiving show. That's going to be, of course, at the 5 o'clock with the bands that we mentioned. Just kind of take it as it comes. It just depends.
Well, I say this from the bottom of my heart. Holly, I really see you. I really like you. Kind of like when it comes to the rock and roll, like a sister. No. Not anything else, because the things I say to you would be highly inappropriate.
That you won't say now.
Right. And you really become, I think, one of the most rock. I mean, there's not too many chicks out there that really rock. Chicks like Jackie and so they do their thing and stuff. But really, when I think of girls that rock, you and maybe like Kelsey from the River. What are they called? I forget what they're called. Whatever, they're from Akron. But anyways, I played with them a million times. I can't remember their names right now. River Burners, right.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not too many, so I really, applaud you for just rocking and putting up with my shit over the years.
Thanks.
And keep CJ from getting hit by those trains. And we will, I will see you for Walking Dead. I know. That's our big thing now. We watch the Walking Dead and the True Blood when it's on. And
Sunday nights.
Sunday nights. That's what we all do. You wonder what your rock musicians in the city are doing? We're watching Walking Dead, just like
exactly. No, but thank you. I mean, it's fun. I'll be honest. I would be lying if I say I didn't like the attention of knowing. And it's again not to be like, oh, I'm so great, but. No, it is fun. There is not a lot of girls playing and singing and being out there and doing that. And that's been kind of age long. There's many greats that have done that on national levels and beyond. But no, around here, I'd like, well, where is everybody?
Right. They're all wrestling, actually, all the females.
Well, yeah, I'm starting to realize that. Because everyone's like, well, why don't you have an all-girl band or do something like that? I'm like, well, first off, finding band members is kind of a horrible process in a lot of ways. And then when you got to find specifics, and I'm sorry, I can't handle more than one PMSing.
It's hard to find a dude drummer that I feel like.
Exactly.
So, Holly, thank you very much for coming on. It was great finally getting to talk to you.
Thank you.
And then, I'm sure about 2 more episodes we'll have CJ on. We have a contract with him, so.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to wrap it up here tonight. So I want to thank Sassy Stephy for coming on earlier. Holly Berry from the Deadenders. Go check out. They are awesome.
Yes. Listen to our music.
Yes. Great. On iTunes, what do you got? iTunes, all that stuff?
Reverb Nation. You can it's all up there. It's free. Take it, download it. Just don't make it your own songs.
You like my night? Well, I have a new song called "Please Say Rock and Roll," and
yeah, thanks.
So that's it for Jimmy Shear. You got anything to say?
I'll be on Muhammad's Radio Saturdays, and I'm doing a benefit for a guy with cancer on the 17th. More information on my Facebook, and yeah, that's it.
Def Chef, you got anything?
No, I'll be at work tomorrow. That's about it.
All right, on behalf of myself, Jeremy Shear, Dev Jeff, Holly Berry, Sassy Steffi, Tyler Bosch, and I think Frank Martinez also, he'll be on. This is Tough Scene Cleveland. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Our next show is going to be Tough Scene Akron. We're going to have some of the best bands from Akron, some of the best performers here. So it'll be a good time. Have a good night, everybody. And remember, don't just sit on the sidelines. Don't just wish you can do it. Be a part of it. Step up and be a part of Tough Scene Cleveland. Good night.
Woo. Cool beans.
Subscribe to Tough Scene Cleveland on YouTube. Like Tough Scene Cleveland on Facebook.